Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in to This Week on Martha's Vineyard. I'm your host, Emmeline Reed, and this week we're going to dive right into our news headlines. So, Vineyard Wind has officially installed its first wind turbine. This has been a conversation for quite some time on the Cape and Islands, and though it had notoriously hit quite a bit of opposition, the first fan is in. Avangrid released a statement earlier this week saying the turbine can produce up to 13 megawatts, or enough to power more than 6,000 buildings in the state. Vineyard Wind says they have been busy installing cables undersea to connect to the wind turbines with electrical infrastructure in Barnstable and should be delivering power to the Vineyard grid by the end of the year. And a new bill proposed this week is taking dark money off of the table on both Cape and the islands. Representative Dylan Fernandez and Senator Julian Cyr recently presented a bill to take so-called dark money off the island. The lawmakers say there's a loophole in the state campaign's finance law that requires disclosures for funds used to support or oppose ballot questions. And it sets a limit for spending in state elections, but not so much in town meetings. Officials say that gap has made room for out-of-town organizations to anonymously make donations to various town meeting article pushes. This bill proposes a full disclosure of any contributions in town meetings as well. And now we're going to kick it on over to Frank Colasso over at the Strand. Frank, what do you have going on this week? I'm excited.
All right. So now we're still into our fall season of showing movies. So we have two great movies coming up. On the 28th, we have E.T., and we also have the original Frankenstein. E.T. is at 3 o'clock p.m. Frankenstein is at 7 p.m. That's on the 28th. I should have said this one first, but because on the 21st, we are showing The Joker. So we show second-run movies at the Strand. So maybe you've seen the movies, maybe you haven't, but it's always a good idea to come on in, see a movie, get some popcorn, relax, and have a good time. Bring the family on out. So like I said, we have E.T. coming up on the 28th at 3 p.m. and then the original Frankenstein after that. And then on November the 11th, we have, what's this movie called? One of my favorite movies, too. A Few Good Men, A Few Good Men, one of my favorite movies. Jack Nicholson, one of my favorite actors as well, and Tom Cruise, and Demi Moore. And there are a lot of great actors in that movie. So A Few Good Men, we're going to have a great time. November the 2nd, we're going to have the Strand Jam. We don't have a flyer for that yet, but just keep checking back on the website, strandtheatermv.com. Strand Jam, let me remind you, is a group of bands from across the island that come in and everybody just jams. They come in and everybody plays like two songs, and it's probably about 12 different bands. You don't have to stay the whole time. You can come in, you can enjoy a few songs and leave, or you can enjoy every band that's out here. But it's an opportunity to see some of the fantastic musicians that we have right here on the island, and they get an opportunity to kind of showcase what they have, what they've been doing. Some of them have CDs. Some of them don't have any CDs. We have some amateurs. We have some professionals. We have some professionals that sound like amateurs, some amateurs that sound like professionals. It doesn't matter. We have music going on in here. We have a full stage with a full band. We have drums back there. We have keyboards. And if you love music, this is where you need to be. So please check back, strandtheatermv.com. All the movies are free $99. So we just ask you to come, enjoy the movies, bring your kids, bring yourself, get some popcorn, candy, all the movie snacks and things like that, and just come and enjoy yourself. And we will be updating events on the Strand website. So we're in the planning phases of bringing you guys some great things. So just keep checking back. I don't want to announce anything that's not confirmed totally yet, but we're still working on some things. So that's what's happening here at the Strand Theater.
Awesome. Thank you, Frank. And now we're going to kick it over to commercial break before we bring back Canieka Fleming. She is the owner of Loud Kitchen, and she's going to share her story with us tonight. Stay tuned.
blistering day on the island can quickly turn into a cool retreat at sea with MV Ocean Sports' dynamic array of water sport activities. From parasailing high above the Vineyard Sound to skimming across its glassy surface on your very own jet ski, MV Ocean Sports has everything fun for everyone. MV Ocean Sports focuses on fun activities the whole family can participate in, including water skiing, wakeboarding, kneeboarding, and tubing. Open daily with sunset specials. Visit mvoceansports.com for more information. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Monday morning or Friday night. From barbecues to birthday parties and from rainy days to beach days, Tony's Market has what you need. Check out our daily deli specials and a huge selection of beer and wine.
Dockside Jewelers at the Dockside Marketplace in Oak Bluffs has as much sparkle as the vineyard water on a perfect summer day, offering a wide variety of handcrafted vineyard charms, bracelets, necklaces, and more.
To the island's most flavorful chicken wings and the famous Tuesday night Lobster Fest. Coupe de Ville has been serving locals and visitors for over 30 years in Oak Bluffs. With the Shuck Shack Raw Bar and over 100 beers on tap, Coupe de Ville is the place where you may arrive as a stranger, but you will leave as a friend.
Located in the Edgartown Triangle, Trader Fred's is a discount haven for locals and tourists. From fishing bait to boogie boards to bikinis, Fred's has what you need. If you didn't find what you wanted, then you must have missed it.
Step back in time. The Edgartown Diner at 65 Main Street offers classic, delicious comfort food at affordable prices. Serving breakfast all day, lunch, and dinner. Discover why everyone loves the Edgartown Diner.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to This Week on Martha's Vineyard. Tonight, we have with us a very special guest. Her name is Canieka Fleming, and she is the owner of Loud Kitchen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yay.
Hey, thank you.
So Loud Kitchen, we were talking earlier on the phone, and you were telling me, your story of how someone told you that you were too loud at some point. And we've literally turned that into a whole business. So can you please explain to me, your journey of how you got here and what your mission is today now to help guide others looking to jumpstart their own careers?
Canieka Fleming, Loud Kitchen, also do Chef Canieka's Catering. I actually started from the bottom. I always say this, started from the bottom, now I'm here, seriously. I started not having a lot, let's just say that. But my mom, she was really hardworking, and I watched her turn nothing into a master's degree from Johns Hopkins. And she just paved the way for me, never quit, never stop, and don't let anybody tell you that you being different or you being a woman or you being black is just going to be a reason for you to stay small or an employee. So a couple of years ago, I had decided to go to the CIA. I graduated in about 2018. After that, I got an opportunity to come to the Vineyard, not really knowing what I was going to do because some family things came up. So the Vineyard was like, okay, I've never been there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. So I'm coming. And I came, did some private chefing. I grabbed some clients from here and took them back to DC and did catering there, did private chefing here, and jumped all over the place and was jumping all over the place, Florida, Atlanta. I had been also doing that for years before that, so I was used to the jumping around, but I was very tired, and COVID hit and didn't have a good job. I started making $14 an hour, selling wine at a wine store, but I did learn a lot about wine. And I was like, this is not who I am. I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to cook. I want to make good food for people. And I know I always wanted to own a business. So when I came to the Vineyard, I tell this story all the time. one of the first things I did before I left is I took some clay from the cliffs, and I wasn't supposed to do that. But I was like, I had a good summer. It's 2019. Now I'm like, I'm gonna take this clay and I'll use it, and it'll be a spiritual awakening every time I use it. And my life spiraled because I did something you're not supposed to do, which is touch the clay. It's not ours. It's not yours to take. It's not anyone's. And so, all the times that I'm like trying to figure out why I'm getting all these, I just went from the vineyard doing all these great catering and private chef things, and now I'm like spiraling down, making 14 an hour at a wine store, and like, what's happening? I look at this clay and I'm like, it's the clay. I have to take this clay back. And I was like, as soon as I get an opportunity to go back, because nobody called me during COVID, and I had to figure some stuff out. But after COVID, I got that call. I got that call, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna come back. But if I come, I'm really coming. Like, I'm really grinding it out. No ifs, ands, or buts. No sleep. I don't care if I eat. Like, I don't care if I gotta sleep in my car. And I did all of those things. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I just worked. I grabbed about 7 jobs, and did more private chefing. But I gave the clay back. It was the first thing I did. I gave it back. I threw it back to the cliffs, and I prayed over it, and I said, listen, I did a selfish thing, thinking it was going to benefit me. And that's not how I'm going to get ahead. So I'm giving this back, and I'm apologizing to the universe. And the next days, I met Julie Vanderhoop from Orange Pill Bakery, and she fully accepted me for who I am. But she also was like a baker, and I still wanted to cook. And I'm like, I still want to cook. So I got an opportunity to put a concept in for a major company on the island. And it was great. I'm putting my food up. Everything on it is mine. But something in my mind told me, somehow you don't fit here. Something's not right. Something, but just stay positive, stay focused. I put this concept in. I worked it. I worked the other 7 jobs I was working. And it was successful. It was so successful, they were like, you deserve a percentage of this. And I was like, oh, great. This is really successful. And so, but then they realized that I would be the face of that situation. They also realized that I was loud, and I was very, I'm not an outspoken person. I speak my truth. I say everything I need to say so that people do not misunderstand what I'm saying. But I never do it in a way where it's black girl angry, where it's crazy and you can't grasp at what I'm saying. I do it in a way where it's like, no, I'm actually speaking truth that needs to be said. So they did not accept that. And I was fired for being loud. And I never want to tell that story, but I'm starting to really fall into the space where that story actually needs to be said, because I was fired for something, and I get we're in Otville State, but I was fired for something that is a part of me. I led with this job. I am a loud person in everything that I do. I mean, sometimes I drop a pot, and it's just like, why'd you drop the pot? Right. So, they fired me, depression, whatever. But I was like, catering is still going great. My clients are calling me back, and Julie is on my side. and I have, a group of black people, and I'm gonna join the NAACP, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be an activist because this isn't right. This is not okay. So I just started moving and shaking and meeting the community and really growing in the community and talking to people and realizing that other people have had this story, whether you're black, white, or coming from another country, J1. Other people have had this story of being fired or let go because, and the reasonings are dumb, but it's really because the wintertime comes and they can't hold you as a staff.
Right.
They can't hold you as an employee. And so from that, the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival, I got to pop up at that. And, they kept asking me, like, what are you calling it? Like, we need a name, we need to start advertising. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know, I'm loud kitchen. So, and that's how Loud Kitchen came. And then I got contacted from chefs who had gone through experiences that I had gone through. And they were like, I just want to do a dish or I want to collab with you. And so throughout this pop up, I'm allowing chefs to come and just be who they are without, any negativity, whatever you want to do, as long as it fits in the concept and you're not going crazily off of it. Let's collab. Let's do this. And I'm realizing also these people want to be entrepreneurs. These people also want to see how this is done. How did you do this? Because, there was sleepless nights of like, how am I going to make this restaurant out of nothing? How are you going to pop a restaurant up in a tent and turn it into an outdoor restaurant? How can you do that and then also create a concept, create a menu, create something that's profitable, sell cheaper items and make money off of them? Because it's the vineyard. Sometimes that works for you. And sometimes, you should make stuff from scratch to kind of counteract that, because everything you do should have meaning. It shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm putting this on a plate and I'm just gonna, sell it at $50 a plate. No, it should be a reason why it's $50 a plate. They're locally sourced. I get my mussels from here. I get my fish from this place and this person in Menincha. And that's one of the things I majorly do in my catering is I drive to all these farms and I'll pick up things, and I will do that every single morning. Even with this restaurant, I do that. I don't source from Cisco a lot of things. I source what I need. I source what I need in bulk, but a lot of my stuff is scratch made, and I'm literally going to get a lot of the things that I'm like so tired when I wake up in the morning. I'm like, no, like I have to make a precedent to like just do what I said I wanted to do, which is every day wake up and do the best food and provide this experience for people and do it in a loud way. And the food will be loud and your product will be loud and the people that come in will be loud and everybody will be accepted. So that's Loud Kitchen.
That's a beautiful, beautiful concept. And when we were talking earlier, you said that you're also that person that will come out and greet your tables and talk with your tables and get to know your customer base and make everyone that comes into your business feel loved and special and, just show your gratitude for them coming. I think it's a really cool concept to be able to come out and greet people whenever you can. Mm. And it's not something that we see often.
It's not. I didn't understand why people don't hear mostly. And I think I get it. A lot of people don't want to be attached to the brand. I don't want to be the face for Loud Kitchen. I want Loud Kitchen to stand for itself. The recipes are solid. The food is solid. My team is solid. And if that is the base. So I don't have to be there every day. But when I am there, I want to know that I'm doing a great job. I want to hear exactly what you want to say. If you say it's a bad experience, like I heard all these great things, but my experience was bad, I am so sorry. Let me resend you out all of this food for you to take it home and experience it in a different way. Or let me give you a gift certificate so you can experience it in a better way next time. And I promise you I will land on it. But I'm not going to make excuses. I'm going to, own my stuff. I'm going to stand up and say, look, I'm starting. This is fresh and I'm trying to learn every step of the way. But I know my base recipes are strong and solid because I've been doing them for years. And it's just something that's why I go to these tables. I'm like, I just want to know that my solid recipes are solid. And, what you want, I'm giving it to you. So I really hope it inspires other chefs to come out and do it too. I know the customer is not always what we want to see and talk to because a lot of times customers are a little picky. I'm not gonna lie. And, oh, well, I wanted ketchup and I got mustard.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like my sister.
I'm like, girl, take this mustard.
Right. Now let me ask you this, because your perseverance, to me that's what stood out in the story that you told, is just like we all go through things where something happens and we can just decide, okay, that's enough, I'm stopping. But you just you're persevering through and you're pushing forward, and I think that's what makes people successful. Even when you go through the hills and the valleys. But as far as the cooking, at what point in life did you decide that's what I wanted to do? Did you just, as a little kid, or did something spark your interest on that?
So, my family, we were homeless a couple times. And even when we were homeless, I had to figure out how to feed everybody. Because my mom would go to work. She still go to work. It's a full-time job. And we were homeless. And when we weren't homeless, we were the house. Like, all the kids in the neighborhood would come. And I'd still have to feed everybody with like one bag of rice and 2 carrots in the refrigerator or something, or pork and beans or something like that. And it usually always ended up be pork and beans and rice, but and hot dogs, literally.
Yeah.
But I was like, every time I made it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the best pork and beans and rice and hot dogs anybody has ever tasted. So when I graduated high school, my mom was like, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, I don't know, because we've been poor. I don't know where to go from here. How do you go from poor to money? You don't know how to transition from that. I don't know what to do. I was just going to keep doing, like helping the family grow. And like, I had no idea, like, what about yourself? All those years. She was like, look, it's either college, military. Which one are you choosing? Because get out.
Right, you gotta go. Yeah.
You gotta
College,
go.
military.
I didn't struggle this whole time.
My dad was like, "Go get a job and you start paying rent."
Or one of them, but I was already working, but I wasn't working something. She was, she had jumped from nothing to John Hopkins, so she wasn't gonna let me just work.
Right, right.
It was never gonna be that, because she thought if you go in the military, you at least get some type of education through them. Or if you go through college, you'll get an education. Either way, you're going to get a continuing education. The other thing was, in high school, I averaged at a 1.9. So I was like, okay, I'll go to college. And I started out at a community college. I just was like, I'm going to be a business owner. I already know I want to do that. But my average was a 4.2 when I got to college. And then I averaged that all the way through all of my
Coming
school.
from a 1.9 in high school.
Yes. Which shows you that's a whole different conversation, but the public school system is,
Are we talking about DC public schools?
DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Okay.
But, I made it. I'm not going to lie. I made it out of it. I graduated. I didn't get held back. But eventually, while I was in college, I figured out cooking. I might as well cook. Like, I'm working as a cook why don't I just actually go to culinary school? So she was like, the culinary school, America's here. I was like, I can't afford that. I'm glad you're making money now, but I can't afford that. So I'm going to go to a community college. Went to community college, got in competitions, winning, doing great things. And I'm like, oh, I got this. But I realized that there was a ceiling. There was a ceiling you kept hitting, because with an associate's degree, there's some people who can make it far, but in certain fields, you can only get so far. You really can only get so far. And so I was averaging like $15 to $19 an hour. And I was like, I guess this is life, you work, it's 15, 19 an hour. And I was like, okay.
Did you focus on culinary and
Just culinary.
Okay.
Just culinary. So eventually I moved to just culinary. So I was around like 24 this time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm 24 years old. I'm like, I'm still only making what I was making 5 years ago. It's not what I want to do for my life. So.
Right. Like, I watch some of those cooking shows sometimes, and they're just so funny to me. I guess they're made for TV. They'll say some crazy stuff. Make a cheesecake without cheese. And then you got to put it together with only wood.
With only wood.
Do that,
My husband watches those shows.
That's the...
Yeah, almost every night. It's like all these different scratch kitchens where it's all this different stuff, and it's like, you have this ingredient, but then we're going to throw you this curveball. And I'm like, why don't they just let a bunch of toddlers loose in the kitchen? Honestly.
Yes. Just, like, I just want to see that. Like, nailed it is perfect for me. Like, it's too intense for me to watch it too, because a lot of times it gives me pressure. Like, I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing more.
Then they have the music
your
going.
Will say you're doing plenty. You're doing amazing. So I want to talk a little bit about your recipes and, kind of help to guide people and say, okay, if you come to Loud Kitchen, this is what you want to try.
Sure. So literally everything's made from scratch, except for the fries. Of course, everybody asked me that, but I'm not doing potatoes back there. I'm not. It's only 2-man team right now, so.
Gotta set your boundaries somewhere.
Yeah, boundaries gotta be set. But I never freeze my beef. I get my beef ground fresh from Reliable every day. And Bob does a great job at Reliable. And I love supporting local businesses. I also get my chicken wings. He's found a farm, like a natural, no GMO chicken farm. And he sources the chicken wings from there for me. And they're never frozen wings. So everybody asks me what's my secret to my juicy wings, and it's because they've never been frozen, and my beef has never been frozen. So that's like one of the major things. So if you get the sliders, you're gonna taste real like quality beef.
Oh, you have sliders?
Oh yeah, we got
like the small little sliders.
We do the sliders because I love Fat Ronnie's, and I can't. They're right across the street. How can I compete with Fat Ronnie's? Right, so you want to do something a little different. I don't want to compete with Fat Ronnie's. I just want to offer a burger without the burger. I'll offer a burger in a different capacity. I'm gonna be starting brunch on the 29th. So we're gonna do a Halloween brunch where you could dress up and do costumes and come out, and I'll do a breakfast burger. We'll do a full one. So everybody keep asking me, when are you going to do the burger? And I'm like, I can't, man. You don't see Fat Ronnie's is open across the street.
Right. Are they closing soon?
I hope so.
I think they're about to close pretty soon.
So I could do this burger.
Right.
But the wings, I have the best wings on the island. I'm not going to lie.
What's your secret?
My secret is a secret.
The one you can tell.
The one you can share.
My secret is, it's the breading. No, it's actually not the breading, because anybody can land on the breading. It's actually the marinade that I marinate the chicken in. And if you do it in the right way, it provides for a very moist chicken. And then we pick that up immediately when the order comes through. So you might have to wait a little bit longer for wings, but you get a quality that is unmatched on the island. Me personally, I think so anyway. I love everybody's wings here. Everybody does a great job, but when I decided to do this, I was like, I gotta do it differently from everybody else doing it. And how am I gonna do that? So I just do it the way my mama cook wings. Like, people don't like I have the full wing. My mom always served me the full wing, so I'm doing the full wing. The flap, you gotta chew all of it.
Yeah.
You gotta chew into the cartilage.
Well, I'm from Chicago. That's how we do. We get the full wing.
So, that's probably my secret is the marinade. I can't really tell you, but I season the chicken up really well, and then I just put it in just a marinade, and I just go from there. And,
So we usually do an Islanders talk topic every time. But this week I want to kind of pivot from that a little bit because I feel like the crazier story here is going to come from you. And I want to hear your craziest experience as a private chef. Can you share just like, you don't have to give any other information that would give anything away, but like, what's your craziest experience before we go as a private chef?
can I say something that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to do some catering for one of my best clients, which is Michelle Norris. And honestly, Michelle Norris is she is the first Black woman on NPR. And she's actually my first client. She's actually my first real client that was like, I'm going to pay you. Because, you don't know it yet, but you're actually really good. And we just continue to work together, and she's so great. But honestly, I thought it was going to be this very uptight and like I'm chef code and like, and I'm like, we got to be this and this and she's like, oh no, we're gonna use the laid back dishes, and I'm like, what's the laid back dishes? And it's like fine dining plastic, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like you can dishwash it and all this stuff. And then they play spades at this party, and I'm sitting here like, what? Y'all are playing spades? This is awesome. Like you're playing spades and they're talking stuff and they're like, bam. Oh, sorry, but bam. Like you get, and I'm sitting here like, this is exactly where I need to be.
Yeah.
This is exactly where I need to be. This is my people. They're playing spades. Like, I'm not going anywhere from this.
Right.
Awesome. This is awesome. So when you think about these events, right, and you see them everybody's posting about these upscale Martha's Vineyard events, those happen, but a lot of times it is just cool people coming together and just wanting to really see each other and playing a game of spades or tonk or whatever your city or your town card game was, or your dominoes, or whatever your board game is. A lot of these people are exactly like you, and they're just in here just playing normal games.
And they don't want to be worried about all the cooking responsibilities and all that.
They don't. They just want somebody there to just, I'm just gonna clean this up. Nope, I got it. You keep
Right.
enjoying it.
Right.
Your time. I got you. I'm enjoying the atmosphere, because usually you go into people's houses and you have to be quiet. You have to be silent. There's no noise. There's work. And, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I will. I got you. Nope. I got this. Oh, you want me to create something from scratch right now with nothing? I got you. So.
But that's the loud kitchen.
That's the
Right.
loud kitchen.
And I think that's a beautiful thing when I think about families, because a lot of times the way I was growing up, like my mom, she was a fantastic cook, but when I think about all the events that we had, she was always cooking. It's like she couldn't even really enjoy the events, because she was always back and forth in the kitchen, and she was the type that loved to serve everybody and all that. Yeah. She's still up and down. And
no, baby, I got it.
And she always had a dish. It never ended with my mom. It was like once you thought you were done with it, it was like, okay, we done eating. Hold up, the lemon meringue pie is in the fridge. When did you make lemon meringue pie?
Oh, I got it. I made it days ago.
I made it days ago. It's okay. Let me cut that up for everybody. And so she just was always busy. And so I think that's a beautiful thing, because somebody like you can come in and just kind of take care of that. Then they can really enjoy, the time with their family and friends, without worrying about that.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's so amazing. Other than that, I mean, you have your normality of like, it is the vineyard. People come here and they expect quality. I have one more. This happened over this past summer. So I have a coupe. I drive a coupe. It's not big, but I've been catering out it for years. And it's horrible when you pull up to these fancy houses and they're like, oh, is your van coming with the stuff? And you're like, no, it's always coupe.
Right.
And you're pulling out. So this summer I did way bigger catering. So I had to rent a van. This van, it's an old Able taxi van, so cargo van. So somebody bought it off Able Taxi, and the window doesn't roll all the way down on one side, so it gets hot in there, and it also doesn't go in reverse. Oh no! So I'm doing an event for Spike Lee, and I have to leave. But it's in the middle of the party. And I'm like, okay, we're just gonna see how this goes. Maybe it'll just not do this time and I'll just be able to back up.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I'm gonna just. And so I'm like, oh God. And everybody's looking at me because I'm like, trying to, and it's making this sound. And I'm like, oh God. Oh, no. And so I'm like, I just gotta do it. And I jump out and I push this van. Now, mind you, I'm not like in front of the event, so it's not too
Everybody
far.
can't see you. But...
Everybody can't see me, but enough people are looking at this situation like, what?
And you're just like, thank you, sorry.
I'm so sorry. Like, this is first business. Just trying to get. So I'm pushing this van. And I say that because everybody was great, and everybody was like, look, like, we all got to start somewhere. But it's not what you think when you pull up to an event like that. Like this caterer has her stuff together, and I'm like, I do. It's just a van that I'm renting that I thought was better than it was. So
I think every small business owner has that moment.
Everybody, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear it, because I was like, oh God.
Every small business. I used to film weddings, and so I remember, this is like 20 years ago now, but there's a little plate that's on the bottom of the camera or on the tripod that links the tripod to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the little plate. And I'm at this wedding for hours. So I'm handheld at the wedding the whole time. And so by the end of the night, I got a muscle spasm in my neck. When I went home that night, I couldn't even move. Because you could imagine having to hold a camera the whole night like this. And it was a big camera because it was back in the day.
Right.
And so I had to go to the hospital because I had a muscle spasm. I'm using a muscle that I never use. I mean, who stands like this for hours and hours?
Yeah.
So I got the muscle spasm, had to go to the doctor and everything. It was bad, but
you did what you got to do.
I've never forgotten that plate to this day. I have like 2 or 3 of them extra in my bag.
Well, it's all learning experiences, I'm telling you. And I mean, I hope that if that helps anybody who's trying to start off, think that they can't do something because you don't have a good car, or you're not flashy, and you make mistakes. You make mistakes, and I think you gotta learn from it. You just gotta be like, okay, look, if you're gonna be doing this high-end catering, maybe let's rent a car that
right
can go back and forth.
Yeah.
We've all been there. I know I started mine in the first event that I worked. I showed up and I had some friends that were going to meet me there, and I was all excited, and I was like, this is going to be great. And I was like newly out of a surgery, and so I couldn't move so fast, and I felt so bad because I was missing all the big people are walking by, and I'm trying to get interviews, but I can't move fast enough because I can't get to them fast enough. And then the battery dies, and I don't have a backup. And so I just was like, I'm just going to use my phone. And I did. And I just made it work. And I just got the content. And I looked back on it and I was like, wow. Note to self, like, I thought I threw a backup in. And also maybe I need to take a break and come into this when like my body is ready so I can be as fast as I need to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
But every person, every small business owner I know has that story of like, yep, that's start. And people are looking at you like, everybody has it. Everybody has it.
Yeah. Then you fight through it, and then you look back at it years later, like, okay, it was something that happened, but as long as you learn from it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us tonight. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited next time I come to the island to come to Loud Kitchen. I'm going to be probably going for, I don't know, the chicken wing. I feel like that's what you have to get, right?
Yeah,
That's your
you gotta
that's
get
what you
one
have
of the
to
chicken wings, just a little bit,
your favorite.
or the beignets, one of the two.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
what are the hours?
So we're open from 1 to 9, but I'm excited because I'm trying to do something different in the Ritz, which is use a half door in the back by the kitchen and provide dining for late night diners, because there's nothing to eat in the wintertime after a certain time. So hopefully that will excite people to at least get out and eat some food. If anything, just have food options. 'Cause honestly, I could just serve chips and people will be excited because like there's nothing to eat. But I want to be able to provide that. So what I'm gonna say is we're 1 from 9, but I'm gonna put a light on that door, and when the light goes off, that's when we're really closed. So we'll stay open until the light goes off, basically.
I like that. That's an awesome concept. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And, is there anything else that anybody wants to say before? I know traditionally Colin kind of wraps things up, but he's off this week. Is there anyone wants to add in before we wrap up this week?
No, I'm just gonna get me some of those chicken wings, and when they're open again.
Tomorrow, 1:00.
Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, right?
Tomorrow,
Right.
1 o'clock. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys all so much for joining us here tonight. We greatly appreciate you guys coming on to come and share the show with us, and we will see you all next week right here, same place, same time on Martha's Vineyard.